Thank you guys so much for being here for the August edition of CART Conversations, a monthly call that is open to anyone and everyone who is interested in learning more about the CART Fund and getting involved with us as a volunteer. We have a lot of district leadership, we have a lot of club CART chairs, we have some district CART chairs, we have some board members as well. So we're grateful for everybody who participates. We have a great agenda for you guys tonight, and just wanted to quickly say that if you are not already registered for these future meetings, they are all on our schedule and on our calendar. If you will go ahead and register in DACDB, then you will get an email reminder with the Zoom link. And you can go ahead and register for all of those for the next several months if you would like. But we will continue to send you some emails and reminders as well. Carol was hoping to join in, but she had another meeting at her church tonight. So she sends good wishes to everyone and apologizes that she can't be here. But we do have a lot of really fun things going on. So I'm going to start us off tonight by talking about our monthly to do challenge. You guys may remember last year we started offering a new challenge every month, something that not just district chairs, but some club chairs can do as well. Something to kind of keep you motivated and to keep you on task. And so I wanted to say that in the month of July, we did our, instead of having this meeting with all of the different speakers, we did our orientation. So if you missed that, I encourage you, it is on our YouTube channel. Please go back and watch that. I'll put a link to it on this video as well on YouTube. But if you will go back and watch that, you'll get some great information. We went over some public image things. We went over some fundraising, some details. We went over some how-tos, the handbook, all kinds of great information. So I encourage you, if you missed that, to go back and look at that. And so if you have not watched that, you'll get some great information, including the fact that there is a PowerPoint out there that you guys can download and use if you are out doing presentations at Rotary clubs and such. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can actually personalize it, use it. If you've never done one before, I encourage you to do it at your home club and get in the habit and get a little experience and practice, and maybe get some feedback as well. And if you're not comfortable doing public speaking, because we all have different skill sets, then find someone that might be willing to help you with that. Find either to help you feel more comfortable or that will do it for you. There's probably someone in your club or in your district that can help. And that's also a great way to find some area chairs or area advocates. As you all know, your district governor has area governors or assistant governors that help them throughout the district. And there's no reason that you, as a district CART chair, can't do that as well. So we encourage you to do that. I'm going to share some additional information about that PowerPoint a little bit later in the evening as well. So the other thing I wanted to mention is to remind you that we talked about this during the orientation. If you have not yet spoken with your district governor about CART goals for the year, this is a great opportunity now in the beginning of the year to talk to not only your sitting district governor, but your future governors as well. It's really important that will open doors for you down the road if you have that relationship with your governor. Things like getting access to the district newsletter, and I'll use Milton as an example of that. He had an article in their district newsletter this month, and he's getting great response from clubs that want programs, from individuals who have moved into that district and previously were involved with CART and didn't know that there wasn't really a thing in their district yet. So he's getting a lot of support from there. Also, I know Greg Ross, who is not with us tonight, but had an opportunity. He met with his district governor, and he's gotten an opportunity to speak at some of their training sessions now. And so the way you do that is by building those relationships with your district governor and setting some goals. And people always ask me, well, I want the goal to be this amount. Well, it's not our goal, it's your district's goal, and that really needs to come from your district governor as well. But by also including your district governor elect and your district governor nominee and your district governor nominee designate when that person is selected, it's a great way to build future success. And then building on that, if you would reach out to, with the permission now from your district governor, to your club presidents. Maybe you've put something in the district newsletter. Now, a simple email to all of the club presidents in your district, asking them if they're willing to let you come and do a program, if they have a goal set already, or if they would identify a club advocate or a club champion, someone that would help you promote it in the club. And sometimes that P-mail will work. And sometimes you might need to pick up the phone and make a personal phone call, because if they have that connection to you, then they are definitely much more likely to follow through on that, and they're much more likely to identify that club champion if you ask them to. And if you don't know how to send a P-mail to that group through DACTB, we can help you do that. We talked about it briefly at our orientation, so that's on that video. But we're certainly happy to set you up with someone that can train you on that. And we have a specific video in our training library on YouTube that talks about how to not only send that P-mail, but to create your own committee in your district DACTB that is made up of all of the all of the club chairs and club advocates. And that's an easy way for you to say to your club presidents, you're getting a lot of emails. And if you don't want to get one from me, also identify a club champion, a club chair, and let's get them in the database. And that'll keep you from getting all of those emails. And then you can communicate directly with those people. So we'll talk a little bit more about goals as the night goes on as well. But those are your monthly to-dos for July and August, is to meet with your district governor, find out what the goals are for your district, and we'll talk about how to get those entered. And then also to introduce yourself to the clubs so that you can start building that relationship. Now, as you may recall, each month we try to do a fundraising idea of the month, we try to do a public image idea of the month, and we try to do a donor portal tip of the month. And so this month I am so excited to have my friend Vaughn join us from the Rotary Club of Golden Strip Sunrise, which is in upstate South Carolina. And a couple of years ago, Dee asked, I heard about a fundraiser that they were doing. And last year, they invited me to come and be a part of it. And what a thrill it was. I got to see they are a well oiled machine. And not only did they do their fundraiser that she's going to talk to you about tonight, but they added another fundraiser during Christmas, which I hated to miss, but I'm hoping I get to go see it this year. So I invited Dee to join us tonight. As you all will remember, we try to do a fundraising idea of the month, something that you could replicate in your club or in your district, or something that you might just want to share as an idea. And so Dee is here with us tonight to tell us all about Rotary Night of Singing. Dee, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Tiffany. So Rotary Night of Singing, if you aren't familiar with upstate South Carolina, just south of Greenville, there's an area, it's a 385 corridor, and it's called the Golden Strip, and that goes through the towns of Malden, Simpsonville, and Fountain Inn. All three of those towns have a lunchtime Rotary Club, but lunch didn't work for everybody, so we formed a breakfast club. So we are the Golden Strip Sunrise Club. We're a breakfast club that covers all three of those towns. So our trademark signature event that we've been doing for 27 years is called Rotary Night of Singing, that we do in coordination with the Fountain Inn Lunch Club. And it is a choral event that there are 3 high schools in the Golden Strip area, there are 4 middle schools in the Golden Strip area, and there are 9 elementary schools. So every year we take the 3 high schools, the 4 middle schools, and 3 of the 9 elementary schools on a rotating basis. Their entire chorus is invited to Brookwood Church, which is a mega church in the Simpsonville area, and they perform. Each individual choir performs on its own. It's like a 2-hour program. It gives the kids, great time to showcase their talent, because they have never sung in front of over 2,000 people. Brookwood will hold 2,100 people, and we sell out every year. The schools each get tickets. They get about $1,000 worth of tickets that they sell to parents, grandparents, whatever. That money goes to the school choral program. The Rotary clubs sell sponsorships, local businesses, and with that money, we give scholarships to 2 senior choral members of each of the 3 schools. So we give 6 scholarships every year. Until this past year, at the end of the program, we would take up money for Polio Plus. We would have our buckets at the door as people were leaving. And we found out that at our age group and younger, that have kids in grammar school and high school, Polio Plus is not as impactful as Alzheimer's, because Alzheimer's affects everyone. So this past year, we decided that the money we took up at the end of the program would go to CART, and we very graciously got an acceptance from Tiffany to come MC the program. And I don't have to tell y'all, she was phenomenal. By the end of the program, I wanted to join another Rotary Club. I was so hyped up. But we collected over $500 at the door. And we've had a couple of clubs in District 7750 that have contacted us to try to simulate that. It's a lot of work, and it takes time to develop it because you have so many schools involved. But you know, we've been doing this longer than the participants have been alive, because they're in high school and we've been doing this for 27 years. But we'll have students come up to us that say, 15 years ago, I was in Rotary Night of Singing, and it was just a magnificent event. So, you know, we appreciate, I understand Tiffany is going to be our MC again this year. And as students are, one program is going off the stage and the next school is coming on the stage, there's time to talk about Rotary and what it is, and CART and what it is. So it's a win-win for Rotary and for CART and for the students. So that is Rotary Night of Singing. The latest fundraising event that we've started, Fountain Inn. It's a very small town. It's kind of, and this is not a cut, but it's Mayberry, South Carolina. And it has that quaint small town feel to it. And every year at Christmas, they do it's like the Charleston carriage rides, horse-drawn carriages. And for like 2 weeks, they fill up those carriages and they drive them through Fountain Inn at night, looking at the Christmas lights. So 3 years ago, we decided that our club would get together and sell hot chocolate and hot apple cider at the people standing in line. So the first year we did it, we raised like $500. Second year, we added sweet treats, homemade cookies, and we made like $1,700. Last Christmas, we decided that we would sell the treats, $2 for 2 cookies, but we would give away the hot chocolate, just donations. And we did it. We had signs all over that we were giving the money to CART. People would come up and order 2 cups of hot chocolate and give you a 10 or a 20 or a 50. Or people would come and get 10 cups of hot chocolate and give you $5. You know, you never knew what it was. But at the end of, we sold it for 11 days and we raised over $5,000 for CART, just on donations alone. Yeah. So it was a win-win for, we got the Rotary name out there, we got the CART Foundation out there, but we also got to talk to people because they would come up and they would tell us their story about Alzheimer's. So they shared with us, we shared with them, and we made bucketfuls of money. And it was a lot of manpower, but it was easy work. Because, you know, in December in northern South Carolina, it can be 70 degrees or it can be 30 degrees. And so the colder it was, the more hot chocolate we sold. So those are the 2 fundraising things for CART that my club does. So if there are any questions, you can, you know, funnel them through Tiffany, but I appreciate the opportunity to talk about CART and what the Golden Strip Sunrise Club is doing.
It's an incredible club. They really do a great job, and I'm grateful. Their club was recognized by their district this year as one of the changemaker clubs in their district, which was really nice. Do you guys have any questions for her? As she said, they've been doing that Rotary Night of Singing for 27 years, and when I say it's a well-oiled machine, I'm not kidding you. People know exactly what to expect. The audience loves it. The kids love it. The community loves it. They're doing a great job there. So any questions for her? Glenda.
When is the Rotary Night of Singing? Did I miss that? What time of year?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's in the fall. Actually, this year it is October the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the fall. So the chorus teachers have to get together like during the summer to set a date to get it on their calendar, but it's always in the fall.
Right. And how many, you have 3 high school, and how many other schools do you have involved?
4 middle schools and 3 elementary schools. So we have 10 choral groups. They each do 2 numbers apiece, and it's a 2-hour program. So they get up there, they sing, they get down.
Yeah, they even have it set up so that
Okay,
one
thank you.
group is walking off the stage in one direction while the other group is coming on the stage behind them. I mean, it moves very quickly. It's very well done, well organized.
And I will say last year there was an elementary school that, of course, they supply their music. It's canned music, and the tape did not work. And those 6th, 7th, 8th graders stood up there and did 2 numbers a cappella, just off the cuff. They got a standing ovation. It was mind-boggling.
And I love the concept
Thank
of the
you.
hot chocolate and the Christmas thing because for a lot of reasons it really does involve the community in an opportunity for public image and public awareness in addition to fundraising and that's good for CART, but it's also good for Rotary, as she said. And I think that's one of the that we always look for those type situations because those are win-wins.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? If you guys
I have to
would
say
like
hello.
to reach out to her later, I'm happy to share her contact information. Go ahead, Dee. I'm sorry.
I have to say hello to Frank Cox, one of my favorite Rotarians.
Absolutely. He is the best for sure.
Yeah, but thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Vaughn is the best ever.
I agree. I agree. All right, you guys. So next up is our public image tip of the month. And I wanted to share with you, for those who have not seen it yet, that we have rolled out our brand new website. And I don't know if you guys have looked at it yet or not, but I want to at least share it with you and mention a couple of things. And has a lot of really cool things to it. Some new pictures, new links, things like that. It has all of our social media. One of the things we heard from people was that they couldn't figure out where to sign up for the e-news. I think you'll see it several times now, hopefully, so that's good. But a couple of things I did want to point out: that the calendar is still there with the all of the events. So if you decide that you can attend CART Conversations at the last minute and you didn't sign up, you can go to this calendar, you can hover to it, and you can even pull up the Zoom link right there and copy and paste. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. And you can find all of our events. If your club meetings that you're speaking to are not on here, that's just a reminder to send those to me, and I'll be happy to put those on here for you, because we want to populate it as much as possible. The news section is only as good as the things that you send me. So if you will give me that information, I would love to include it. And then, of course, you'll also find information about our board and the grants, and that is now updated with our new, this is the video of Viv Chung, who was our top grant recipient this year. And the second grant recipient, Dr. Zwang, that one was just added to YouTube this week. So you can find that as well. And then the other 2 pages I just wanted to point out today. Number 1 is resources, because we've talked about that a lot. If someone needs the logo, that they can find that here. They can get other things like photos that they can download and use. The presentation that we talked about earlier, which is the PowerPoint that we did for you. And I wanted to say that I had an opportunity to use it this past week, and I could see some things that I didn't really like about it once I saw it up on the screen. So I am going to be updating that. So maybe next week you might want to go and download a newer version. It's just little things like the colors of some of the font I thought was hard to read. And so I'm going to make those changes, and then you can go in and download it again. And then the other thing I wanted to show you on here, and then I'm going to open this up if you guys have questions. I really want to have a conversation about this. On the merchandise page, you will see we have 2 companies now that are doing CART merchandise. Civic Swag, who's been with us for a long time, and 5 Star. They're both licensed Rotary vendors. They're both owned by Rotarians. And then below that, you'll see if you need little blue buckets, they can simply click that button and it'll send an email to me, I believe. So if someone asks you, you can always send them there. And then there's also the information on how to order the Forget Me Not painting. But what I wanted to mention was about these branded items. The links go to their websites now. So I wanted to have a conversation about what kind of things you're looking for. They really want to know, what do you want? And they're willing to put some new things out there, but I don't know if you guys are looking for attire that you can wear, which I'm sure you are, but that's a limited group of us. Or are you also looking for something that you can buy and then resell as a fundraiser? Or are you looking to share this information with your clubs? So we have a few minutes. If you'd like to give me some feedback that I can share with our vendors, I would really appreciate that to hear. You're welcome to either put it in the chat or unmute yourself and tell me what kind of things you like, what kind of things you wish we had. Obviously, it's a smaller organization than Rotary International, and so we don't want to ask these guys to print up thousands of things that they have to sit on a warehouse and wait for somebody to purchase. So that causes a little bit of a delay maybe. But if there's something that you guys tell us that you're looking for, I would love to hear it. Andy Taylor says baseball hats. Got it. Thank you. Anything else that you guys want to unmute and talk about? I think Andy's driving, so she's got her mug, her mug in her hand. Love it. Love it. What about the rest of you guys? I know, Bill Parker, we've been working on elephants for a very long time. And we have found some. The question is, does a club want to buy them at a lesser wholesale cost and resell them to make money? Or do you guys just want one that you can order and have one for yourself? And that's a question that we've never really resolved. So if anybody has any input on that, you guys may remember Polio Plus does some koala bears. There's a Rotary District in Australia that's done koala bears before, and so we've talked about doing the elephants for CART. Yes, sir.
Just a few seconds. We happened to be talking to a lady who had just lost her mother to Alzheimer's, and we told her about CART and how we were going and giving the Barbara and Bill traveling CART show. And she said, my mother just died of Alzheimer's. She said, please, wherever you go, take an elephant, because elephants never forget. So we bought this little stuffed elephant, and we'd go to the Rotary Club and we'd start passing that elephant around, and the elephant was the hit of the night. The elephant went hand to hand all the way around the room, and we found that our donations that night had doubled just because of a stuffed elephant. So that's the history behind Track the Cart Elephant.
Great. So we had a sample. I see Andy's hand is up, so I'm going to come right back to you. We had a sample that we had made with a T-shirt on it, but then I had this crazy idea that he should be wearing a lab coat because of our researchers. So we got that one, and I know it's on my shelf somewhere. In all of my stuff over here, so I don't see it. So I apologize. So we can get one, and for those of you who've not seen, like the koala bear that has the polio T-shirt on it, but we want your input on that. So Andy, you want to unmute yourself? Be careful, you're driving.
No, I'm not. I'm parked.
Okay.
But I'm in my car. But no, Bill, I have track. I still have your elephant that you gave me, and I have taken it to the clubs that I talked to for sure. You know, I've done so many talks in the last 2 weeks. I don't know how you do this, Tiffany, but some of the other things like the cup, I know I bring mine wherever I go. People would love to get these kinds of mugs. They're not Stanley, they're a Walla brand. I got them from Aaron. So, I mean, I know that. One of the things though, 3 of the clubs have mentioned, can we get it to where the QR code is not so cumbersome to be using? I know you and I have talked about it, like, is there a way for somebody somewhere to just sponsor a Square account, and we can have QR codes that just make it so easy. It's 3 taps and it's done instead of having to fill out the information. And I'll mute myself.
Okay, no problem. And thank you for bringing that up. It's an excellent question. We get it a lot. And unfortunately, the answer to it is that if you want the club to get the credit, we still have to tie it back to that list of donors and members and clubs and districts. So that adds the extra steps. And even if it's 3 steps with a Square, they still have to enter their billing address with their credit card information or their checking account information, which means it has to be a secure thing. We can't just put out credit cards information, and you can't make you can't use your credit card or your checking account without providing your personal information, your address or billing address and that kind of, and an email. So unfortunately, as much as we all think that it's simpler when we make a donation online to another organization, honestly, the only thing that's simpler about it is that those organizations bypass the collection of clubs and districts. And unfortunately, the only way to avoid that is to not track it by clubs or districts. And I don't think that anybody wants that. So we have, though, just as an FYI, been having some conversations with the people who designed the portal and about doing lots of things that will improve user usability and you make it more user friendly. And one of those is the mobile version, which is what you get if you scan the QR code. There is an expense involved in making it more mobile friendly. It will still involve, like I said, logging in with your DACDB login, or creating a new account, which we don't want people to do if they're a Rotarian, because then Michelle and Rod have to go in and combine the accounts, and move the donations back to a club, which didn't happen originally, and that's a lot more work. But there is some talk of that. It is not going to be cheap, but it is on our wish list of things. And we did get a new gift for track this week. So maybe maybe I need to have that conversation with that donor about maybe using it for some technology. So that's a really good idea. So I'll put that on my list. So thank you for bringing that up, because I do like, and I know Rod is here. It's good for us to hear that those are still the concerns that you're hearing. It is important for us to share that back with the rest of the executive committee. The next thing on our agenda is our portal moment for the month, and Rod Funderburk he is working behind the scenes as hard as you can imagine to learn everything that Michelle knows to try to be her backup and help her, because as some of you know, Michelle is a division director and on the board of the directors for CART, but she's also our club president right now. So she definitely has her hands full. And so we're trying to provide more volunteers, and Rod has been doing that. So we're grateful for that. And so I asked Rod to speak to us tonight a little bit about, with our portal tip of the month, about setting goals, which is something we talked about earlier. So Rod, thanks so much. It's all yours.
Well, good afternoon. The assignment that Tiffany gave me was a couple of things. So we'll start with goals. But before we get to goals, let me just repeat some things that she said earlier in case you weren't listening like me. We, the CART Fund, encourage you to have a conversation with your district governor about CART, in terms of what we do, what your role is, and how the two of you and the district governor, can work together during the year. It's extremely important that we all, no matter what role we play in the district, have a conversation with the district governor to get the district governor on board to support CART. And let me just encourage you to include a couple of things in that conversation. One, talk to the district governor about he or she including CART in their club visits. District governor has a wide freedom of what to say in their district club visit speech. And it would be absolutely wonderful if they would include CART as a part of that conversation. And so you have a conversation with the district governor and encourage them to do that. Secondly, a conversation with the district governor would include, in my opinion, how you can interact with your district. Part of the newsletter, go to all kinds of district events, getting on agendas for district events, those kinds of things. That all starts with a conversation with the district governor, because they pretty much control who gets to do what. And don't forget to have a conversation with the district governor-elect, the district governor nominee, and the district governor designate, because eventually they will be district governor, and you don't want it to be a surprise come July 1 when they become district governor. Hey, where's CART? If you can educate them along the way, then they're ready to go July 1 to support you. And lastly, talk to that district governor about the goals, the CART donation goals for the clubs. Every district is different, okay? In some cases, the district governor likes to set the goals for the district. In some cases, they let the clubs do their own thing, okay? Irregardless, we would like for clubs to set goals, no matter how the goal comes about. So if you can get the goals either out of the district governor or from the clubs, then what I want to do is show you how to put them in the system. So let me share screen. If you'll just bear with me just a second. Ooh. Okay, didn't do that right apparently. Obviously not doing something right, Tiffany.
Okay. Do you want me to open mine?
It says one participant can share at a time. So are you sharing?
I'm not.
Okay. We make it simple. You open yours
I can
and
do
go to
that.
7770.
Yep, I can do that. Here we go. Can you see it?
Okay. This is what you see when you open the CART Fund portal. And so if you have the goals for your clubs, click on My Club Goals. And it'll bring up your own club. In this case, it's Tiffany's club. And the black line is the contributions per year, and the blue line is the goal. And so right now, that club has no goals set, okay? And so if you would like to set a goal, then you fill in the little blank there with whatever the goal happens to be, okay? $5,000 or something. Okay. Now, if you put a total club goal like $5,000, the system will calculate the per capita for you. If you put in the per capita, the system will calculate the total for you. So you only have to enter one of those. But a key point to remember is, let's say the governor says to you, the district goal needs to be $100,000, just round numbers. The system will not divide that by clubs. The system only accepts a club goal and then it adds it up for the district. So you really need club goals to make the portal work correctly. Couple of red flags. One of those is you can't put in the total district all at one time. Secondly, I believe, Rod Funderburk believes, that you ought to get the goals from the clubs, okay? Because if they decide what the goal is, then they own the goal. If you impose a goal upon them, it's never their goal. And so I would urge you to talk to the clubs, let them set the goals, put them in the system. So at this point, let me ask you if you have questions about that before we go to the second topic. Okay. Doesn't matter to me what your goals are. Doesn't matter to me if they're in there. They're in there for you as a tool for you. And so if you like to report on progress toward a goal, then you need to put it in the system. But I truly believe you ought to get the clubs to set their own goals. Linda.
Tiffany, the last time I looked, they still don't have the new RI membership numbers. So if you do it now, do you have to go back and redo it in there? Because
No.
my
You wouldn't have
district
to
governor
redo it.
always
Most of
says,
them aren't going to change that much.
The system will
gonna
recalculate.
change it. I'll
And
automatically recalculate when they put the numbers in.
yes, ma'am. And the membership
I know
numbers ought
there's
to be
one
in
club
a couple of weeks.
Okay, a couple of weeks. Thank you. Okay.
Usually the RI target is mid-August, and we're there. So I think by the end of the month, they ought to be there.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions about goals?
Can I just add to that, for those of you who are looking for goals, trying to figure out what they might be, as a reminder, we talked about new recognition and awards coming this year. And we created something called the Spirit of CART Awards for clubs. Any club that donates $20,000 or more a year will be recognized with a Spirit of CART Award. And any district that raises $100,000 or more will be a Spirit of CART District Award winner. And then in addition to that, you may recall I also mentioned we were creating the Champions Circle, which are individuals who donate $1,000 or more. And I personally have set a goal for us as a group to get 100 donors of $1,000 or more. So anything you can do to help that would be fabulous. But that will roll up into remember that if you have a club that did maybe 10,000 last year and they're looking for a goal, you could say, well, if you hit 20,000, then you'll be recognized as a Spirit of CART Award. So just wanted to throw that in there, the 20,000 per club and 100,000 per district.
Excellent. As information, we had 40-something $1,000 donors last year, and we certainly want to increase that number. Okay, the second topic has to do with visibility in your district, and we already talked a little bit about getting an audience with your district governor, but you're going to need a few things from club presidents. In order to get into the clubs and make presentations, you need a relationship with the club president. So we recommend that you get to know the club presidents in your district. Correspond with them, either face-to-face meetings, phone calls, emails. Get to know the club presidents in your district. And the reason you want to do that is because we recommend that every single club in your district have a CART chair, a club CART chair. I don't care what you call that person. Call them club CART chairs, call them club liaisons, call them club whatevers. But if you have someone in every club in your district to promote Alzheimer's, promote the CART fund, figure out if they need buckets, find a way to give presentations about CART, those folks can be key in terms of getting the word out to the members of your district through the clubs. Ask your club presidents to appoint that person. Literally, my vision of a CART club chair is to educate the membership. And so in order for them to do that, that means you would communicate with that CART club chair and provide them with lots of information about what we do, about the researchers, about the lunch and learns, all kinds of things that would help them to educate their membership. Clubs with no CART club chairs means I recommend you communicate routinely with the club president. So that's one more email that they'll get until they appoint a chair. Now, for those of you who've been doing this a while and you have club chairs all over your district, then I would now recommend that you enlist what I would call a CART advocate. Rotary has assistant governors or area governors. A CART advocate is like an area governor for CART. And they would manage several clubs in terms of getting information to those clubs, and they would help you with presentations. In a district like mine that's geographically challenged, advocates are wonderful sources to give presentations to clubs that is really inconvenient for you to go to. So think about that in terms of how to get the word out about CART. It's not necessary for you to do all the presentations, but it is necessary for you to enlist some folks to help you. And so the CART advocates would be a great source to do that. I would also recommend that when you're communicating with your district governor, that you include in the topic of conversation, hey, governor, we'd like to have CART chairs in every club, and we like to have CART advocates in every area of the district. So that it doesn't come as a surprise to them when somebody walks up and says, oh, by the way, I'm the CART advocate for such and such an area. They need to know what you're doing, and they can support you and improve what you do. I assume at this point that all of you have the ability to do P-mails. And if the answer to that is yes, which I hope it is, then when you create this list of CART chairs in the clubs, create a committee on P-mail with all those chairs listed, and then it's 2 clicks to send all of them an email about the latest information you want to get out to your district. Questions for me. Thank you very much.
You can create a CART committee in DAC-DB as well for your district.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Within your
Actually,
district,
it's very
you
simple.
can create all kinds of committees, and I recommend a CART committee for your female listing. Yes.
But DAC-DB has that as a key role, which is called Club CART Chair. So once they identify that person, all of those people will automatically roll up into your district committee. And if you don't know what we're talking about with that, there is a training video again on our YouTube channel that Billy Black did for us last year that will walk you through that, how to create a committee in DAC-DB. And if you need the link to it, if you can't find it, let me know. But it's under the playlist called Training Videos.
Be sure that you talk to your district governor about P-mails. Some of them are they have real interesting attitudes about nobody sends a P-mail except them. So get that cleared beforehand.
All right, so a couple of other things to add to that. I mentioned earlier about the new website, the new PowerPoint. How many of you have seen all the new graphics on our social media accounts? The missing pieces, and we've included them some in our newsletter as well. So Joan was the first one who has reached out to me and asked for that file in Canva, which I sent to her. If anyone else either is comfortable doing Canva yourself, or you have a volunteer in your district that is willing to do those for you, I'm happy to share those files with you. And you can do them yourself to do a leaderboard in your district, to recognize someone who, when you go and speak to a club or a club that makes a donation. As a point of reference, we are doing them for every club that sends a donation of $500 or more at one time, not their cumulative gift, but I'm doing those for each of those and posting them on our page. So you're welcome to share those. I see a lot of folks are starting to do that. And when I see pictures of you speaking at a club, I'm pulling those and doing those as well. And of course, if we get a major gift from an individual, in honor or memory of, I'm doing that as well. I will mention in regards to that, the honorariums and memorials, and also the major gifts. There is not currently a place on our Donate Today page that asks if our donor would like to remain anonymous. And we mentioned earlier that we're doing a lot of upgrades and trying to make our Donate Now part more user friendly. And so that's one of the things that they're working on right now. You will see that soon. That will be added to the page where they can opt out of publications and things, which is very standard on almost every fundraising site out there. So currently I'm reaching out to these people individually and keeping up with it. And then we'll be adding it to the Donate Now page. But if you know of someone who says, I'd rather it not be my name, that's fine. We had that issue in Glenda's district this week. We had a gentleman that gave a $5,000 gift, but he said, I'd rather it not have my name attached to it on social media. And so that's fine. So he said, you can say it's from my club. That's fine. And in that same regard, we had a very productive week this week. I spoke to a club earlier this week where when we finished, a gentleman sent us $1 million. So, but he does not want his name out there. So it will be listed as an anonymous gift. He also made a major gift to our operating fund to track. And so we're very grateful for that as well. Again, it'll go on there as anonymous, and we're happy to publicize those as need be as anonymous. But certainly, like if someone gives us permission to use their name, I think it's very helpful to give them the recognition that they truly deserve, but also inspire others. So I say that to encourage you. And Andy and I had this conversation earlier this week with her district. She's trying to be creative and find ways to dig into the. I love that she said Rolodexes, because I still have my Rolodex on my counter on my desk here. But to dig into our phones or whatever the case may be, and find those people who can make a major gift of even 5,000, 10,000, or even, as I said earlier, $1,000. Our goal is to get to 100 donors of $1,000 or more, and every penny counts. And so if we can do that this year, we're going to truly uh, hit new records and give out even more grants and all of that. So if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer those here or privately. You guys know you can reach out to me during normal business hours, and I'll be happy to help you with those topics. But if you do want copies of the file for Canva, I'm happy to share that with you. I think I have finally figured out how to do it, Joan, right? That I share it to you so that you can edit yourself and it doesn't edit all of mine. I think I finally figured out how to do that in Canva. And then it becomes yours and you can use it as you like. But using that missing piece and letting that carry through to all of our publicity for this year. What questions do you have? We are at the end of our agenda with time. The only thing I want to add, and then I'm happy to open it up for questions, is the future dates. Make sure you have those. We do have another Lunch and Learn coming up in September, and then we'll have some more coming up after that. If you missed yesterday's, our researcher yesterday has asked us not to put her video on YouTube for the general public. But if you missed it and would like to see it, I'm going to be making it as a private video on our YouTube channel where I can share the link with you. I've not gotten to it yet, but I will. So if you missed it and you want to go back and watch it, let me know and I'll make sure that you get the link to it, but it will not be a public link. And then this, of course, this call conversations every month, for the most part, will be the second Thursday of the month. But there are some weeks that it had to change, like next month. So next month we'll be in Jacksonville for the Zone Summit, so it will move to the third Thursday. And then October, I'm in Tallahassee, so it's moved to the third Thursday again. So please take a look at that. I say it's typically the second Thursday, but that doesn't seem to always work. Or is it always the third Thursday? And I'm just wrong. I don't remember, so I apologize. But the dates are on the calendar. I have them so many different times now. I don't know. And then the final thing I want to share with you, and I will give you more information on it at our next month because I'll have them in hand by then, is for years, the last 2 years now, we've been doing these Changemaker Awards, which is a certificate that we can use to present to a club or an individual who has gone above and beyond. And I've offered you guys that certificate, which I email out to you and then you print it. We are actually going to do some actual awards this year that will I will have one available for each district chair to present to your designated volunteer of the year change maker. I will make sure that each district chair has one to give. So I want you to be thinking about that this year as you're going around through your club visits or conversations or whatever, and then talk to your district governor, as Rod said earlier, about having a position on an awards night or the district conference or somewhere that you can present that award. And then I will also be presenting them at various events and district and club meetings that I'm being invited to. And quite honestly, Milton, yours might be the very first one that we get to do. An amazing gentleman in his district that they've brought to my attention, and we'll share that story for later.